Jack slowly polishes the top of the bullet, then drills a small hole through it. Then he drops mercury into the small hole in the bullet, and a powerful poisonous bullet is made. Once a person is hit by such a bullet, even if he is not killed by the bullet itself, he will be poisoned by mercury. Jack purchases a variety of common parts from Amazon, then assembles them into a sniper rifle. The last thing he needs is a silencer, so he deliberately breaks his car, then drives it to a repair shop. While the shop owner is repairing his car, Jack sneakily searches the store for parts. He steals a metal pipe, some car gears, and a spacer. Back home, Jack takes the gears apart one by one because what he needs is the bearings inside the gears. Then he puts the spacer on the gear and uses a hammer to hit the bearing out. He carefully stacks the bearings together, puts the metal tube over the bearings, tightens the cap, and the high-quality silencer is made. Jack brings the sniper rifle to the buyer, who assembles the rifle in front of him, and Jack quietly times it. She assembles the rifle quickly and professionally. Jack realizes that she is a top killer like himself. After assembling, she places the shooting target hundreds of feet away. She takes the rifle, aims at the target, and fires 3 shots in a row. All hits. She is satisfied with the accuracy. And next, she wants to test the rifle silencer. She tells Jack to stand a few hundred feet away, then fires in her direction. Jet fires 2 shots with very little noise, and she can't tell which direction the sound is coming from. She's happy with the rifle, and they close the deal. Not long after, she climbs up to a house with the rifle, searching for her target with the scope. The person she wants to kill is the same person who sold her the rifle, Jack. She pulls the trigger, but the rifle backfires in her face, and she falls off the roof. Jack hears the sound and immediately runs over to check. The killer is dead. It turns out that Jack had modified the rifle right before the deal. Jack is very confused. He must find out who sent the killer. The story starts a few days ago. Jack and his girlfriend are walking in the snow, and suddenly they find a lot of footprints. His killer instinct makes him sense the danger, so he immediately takes his girlfriend to hide behind a big rock. Someone is shooting at them. There is indeed a killer nearby. Jack takes out his gun and searches carefully. He soon finds the killer's location. He walks along the stone and kills the killer when he is not prepared. He asks his girlfriend to call the police, but when she turns around, Jack kills her, and he suspects that it was her who exposed his location. The other killer notices that his partner is late, so he wants to go over to check the situation. Jack is hiding behind him and shoots him down. Then, Jack drives away from the place. Jack arrives in Rome, where he finds his boss, Pavel. He asks Pavel to help investigate who is trying to kill him. Pavel tells Jack to hide for a while, saying he will help Jack find out who is behind it. Then, he gives Jack his car. Following Pavel's instructions, Jack drives to a small town where he feels nervous for no reason. Jack is not going to stay here. He immediately drives away and throws away the phone Pavel gave him. He then hides in another town nearby, where he rents an apartment. He is worried about his safety, so he stays home all day, but he never forgets to exercise. At night, he would sometimes sneak outside to patronize prostitutes. He meets a prostitute named Clara and falls in love with her. A few days later, Jack calls Pavel and asks him how the investigation is going. Pavel says he's working on it and needs more time, but then he gives Jack a new assignment. Pavel knows Jack is good with weapons, so he asks him to assemble a sniper rifle for a client. Jack takes on the assignment without thinking twice. It's easy for him. Later, Jack meets with Madold, the client. Madold requires the rifle must meet certain parameters, which is not too difficult for Jack, and he promises to deliver it to her in 3 days. On the way home, a killer with a gun quietly follows Jack. Jack immediately hides himself, takes off his shoes, and goes around behind the killer. Just as he is about to shoot, a stranger comes over on a scooter. The killer quickly turns around and fires when he hears the scooter, and the stranger falls down. Jack rides the scooter and goes after the killer. The killer gets into the car and tries to escape. Jack shoots the car's tire, and the car loses control and crashes into the guardrail. Jack breaks the car window, then finishes off the killer. He doesn't understand how the killer knew he lived here, and now he does not dare to sleep. So he calls Pavel, who says he doesn't know either, and tells Jack to be more careful. Jack stays awake all night. He decides to leave the town with Clara as soon as he delivers the gun to the buyer. 3 days later, Jack meets up with Madold again. He delivers the rifle to her and gets paid. Then, he quickly rejoins Clara. The first thing Madold does when she gets the rifle is to go to a house. She kills everyone in the house, then finds a perfect spot where she is going to kill Jack. Madold sees Jack is with Clara, but didn't expect to be fooled by Jack. After hearing the gunshots, Jack tells Clara to wait for him in the woods. Then he goes over to check Madold's body, but he doesn't get any useful information, so he leaves. On his way to Clara, he realizes that he is being followed, so he quickly turns around and kills the man. But to his surprise, the man behind him is actually his boss, Pavel. It turns out that Pavel is the man behind everything. As a contract killer, Jack has been working for Pavel for decades. Pavel agreed to let Jack retire but didn't want to pay him his pension, so he decided to kill him. However, all the assassins Pavel sent were killed by Jack, so he had to do it himself. Now Jack is finally free. Unfortunately, he was shot by Pavel. He tries to find Clara, and the moment he sees Clara, he passes out in the car.